The night was freezing, wind cutting like knives, and the city lights flickered over empty streets. A black girl, barely 8, stood outside a grocery store, her lips trembling, her eyes wide, not from the cold, but from hunger. Her tiny hands clutched a cracked glass bottle, and her stomach growled loud enough for strangers to hear. Just then, a black limousine rolled up, so clean it reflected the streetlights like a mirror. Out stepped a man in a coat worth more than her entire home. His shoes shone like polished marble, his wristwatch glinted under the flickering street lamp. People passing by instantly recognized him, the man who had built an empire from nothing. Now, one of the wealthiest men in the city, everyone moved aside. Except her. She stepped forward, her voice shaking but steady enough to be heard. "Sir, I can't pay today, but I promise when I grow up I'll pay you back, please. I just need milk for my little brother before he dies." The street went silent. The man froze. And in that moment, the entire world seemed to hold its breath until he took one slow step toward her. Scene 1, the question. The man knelt down, his face unreadable. "What's your name, little one?" he asked, his voice deep but surprisingly gentle. Amara," she whispered, clutching the bottle tighter. "And your brother, Samuel?" "He's only 3 months old. He's sick. Mama says milk will help, but we have no money left." The millionaire's eyes flickered, not with pity, but with something colder. "Why ask me? There are others here." "Why me?" Amara's lower lip quivered, but she stood her ground. "Because you don't look like someone who says no." A faint smirk crossed his lips, but his eyes, they were distant, almost haunted. Scene 2, the strangers passed. He stood up without saying a word and began walking toward the store. People whispered, some shook their heads, some scoffed. "She's wasting her time," a man muttered. "That guy doesn't help anyone without a contract," but Amara didn't move. She watched as the man entered the store. Seconds later, he came back, empty dash handed. Her heart sank, but then he said quietly, "Follow me." Scene 3, the ride. Amara hesitated, glancing back at the dark alley that led to her home. But something in his voice, not kindness but authority, made her obey. She climbed into the limousine, the leather seats swallowing her tiny frame. The warmth inside almost made her cry. For a moment, she forgot the cold outside. The man poured himself a glass of water, then finally spoke. "You know, when I was your age, I stood outside a bakery. I was hungry too. I asked a man for bread. He told me, 'Come back when you can pay.'" Amara listened, wide-eyed. "So," he continued, "tell me why I should do what no one did for me?" She swallowed hard. "Because if no one helped you, you know how it feels. And I don't want my brother to feel like I do right now." For the first time, his face softened, just a little. Scene 4, the mansion, the limousine, stopped in front of a massive gate. Beyond it stood a mansion with glowing windows and perfectly trimmed gardens. Amara's breath caught in her throat. "Come inside," he said simply. The warmth, the smell of fresh bread, the sound of a crackling fireplace, it was overwhelming. A housekeeper appeared, startled to see Amara. "Get the baby's milk," he ordered, "and some food for her too." Within minutes, Amara was holding a warm bottle of milk and a plate of steaming soup. Tears welled in her eyes as she took the first spoonful. Scene 5, the truth after she ate. He leaned forward. "Now, tell me the real story. Where's your father?" Amara's shoulders slumped. He left when Samuel was born. "Mama works all day. Sometimes she skips eating so we can have food." The millionaire leaned back, exhaling slowly. "You remind me of someone," he said. "Someone I failed a long time ago." Scene 6, the twist offer. He pulled out a leather-bound checkbook. "I'll give your mother enough money for a year's rent, food, and Samuel's medicine. But on one condition." Amara blinked. "What? When you grow up?" "You help someone else the same way. No excuses, no delays." She nodded fiercely. "I promise." Scene 7, the unexpected ending. As the chauffeur drove her home, Amara clutched the milk and the envelope of money. But when they reached her street, the car didn't stop at her house. It stopped at the small, crumbling building where her mother worked late nights as a cleaner. The same building where the millionaire had once been a janitor. Decades ago, Dahi stepped out, approached her mother, and quietly handed her the envelope. Her mother's eyes widened. Why are you doing this? He simply said, because your daughter reminded me who I was before I forgot. Final scene, the last. Shock, a year later. News spread in the city. The millionaire had quietly funded a community program to feed and educate hundreds of children. And the face of the program's poster was Amara holding a glass bottle of milk, smiling dot at the bottom. The words read, I promise to pay when I grow up. Asterisk, moral of the story. Kindness is an investment that always comes back, sometimes in ways you can't imagine. Even the smallest act of help can change someone's life forever. Asterisk, if this story touched your heart, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, tell us in the comments what you thought of it, and share it with your friends. Maybe it will inspire them to help someone in need too.